Good evening, good day wherever you find yourself. It's another brilliant Friday, and it is the Ebitcoinics Academy with our weekly webinar. Today's date is actually 14th, and happens to be a very interesting Friday evening. And all of us actually happens to be at the Ebitcoinics Accra office. And today we have a panel sort of discussion, and what we are going to talk about is really an interesting subject as we are considering some of the real-world use cases for blockchain. And with me, we have Mr. Kenanat and Mr. Nene Jokshan, and myself. My name is Nawaf as usual. And we are actually going to talk about 46 interesting use cases for blockchain. And with that, it has something a lot to do with the technical industry, the non-technical, the financial, the social, the health, and lots of other industries. And we would be discussing it together, and we would make sure we simplify almost everything for you. And we all know that since the evolution of Bitcoin on top of the blockchain technology, it has changed a whole lot in the world we are living today. And blockchain is constantly remaining a very interesting technology. Bitcoin also being the first token on top of the blockchain, we can never discuss blockchain without talking about Bitcoin. But today, we want to just focus on the real world use cases for the blockchain technology instead of ignoring Bitcoin at some extent. So I think that we're all aware let me first talk about browsers, internet browsers, what sort of disruption has happened with internet browsers with regarding blockchain. And we have a browser called Brave, and Brave is actually a browser that can lower data charges by blocking trackers and ads at the same time, and it also protects user privacy by only sharing information that is needed, unlike the way we use Chrome and Firefox, where you would have to actually decide to set it. Brave takes care of that automatically, and you, the user, it actually puts you in charge, and you love everything about your security and everything. And I think that is a very interesting disruption with blockchain.
I agree with that. That reminds me of paper chain. Right. That's what I want to share with all of us. You know, when you look at the entertainment industry, what they share with us has copyright issues. And when it comes to how they can actually get their payback, the process is just too long. So paper chain, was introduced so that we can have a decentralized marketplace whereby people can actually share their assets and be able to actually monetize, on them. And it has caused, a stir in the entertainment industry with music creators, movie makers and all that. They'll be able to actually share their assets via this platform and then get paid via digital currencies with the help of this blockchain technology. And I think it's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's really going to be an interesting technology, as we all know. And quickly, we consider data management. And with data management, we have a technology called Factom. And Factom happens to be a very, very interesting disruption. Why? Because there should be a need for data theft. When we talk about a blockchain, we all are aware the blockchain technology is 100% immutable. And it being immutable, it means any data that enters on top of the blockchain can never be altered. So Factom is actually trying to protecting critical commercials, government and all the non-profit systems from data theft, and also instilling honesty on all platforms and systems at the same time. And that, I think, is something we should constantly try to pay attention, because with blockchain without security against data is not a blockchain.
I think it reminds me again regarding gap time. I think that's the fifth one. Yeah. I think all of us know about gap time. Now, we know the features the blockchain technology has. One of them being immutable, transparent, and then security. Gap time wants to actually capitalize on this and then provide the same service to people who need internet security. So it's not only about blockchain, they want to take blockchain to the next level and make sure people who use internet all the time have an additional layer of security by leveraging on the secure nature of blockchain and sending these services or these benefits to all other internet users. So I think they started with the Estonian government, as a pilot project, and now they are using it to solve problems in the health sector as far as Estonia is concerned. So I think that's it about that time. A very good project, and I think we have to commend them for bringing this up. Yes, thank you very much.
So we have Block Verify. Block Verify is the seventh on the list, and it works to bring transparency to the supply chains, and also we have to get a chain that can protect drugs and even electronics, diamonds and luxury items from counterfeits. This is what the system really, the Block Verify system gives us. Block Verify works to bring transparency to supply chains and then on the blockchain. This is very important because if, like, let's say I'm sending something to someone, like let's just say gold, diamond, even pharmaceuticals, even TVs, you have to know you are sending the exact item the other needs. This is very important. If not so, we will have, just like we have been having, people send fake items to people and they use them. This is what Block Verify is for the blockchain.
Yes, and still on cyber security, we have actually a startup company called Remy. Remy happens to be a hack-proof authentication that protects users and companies' data from cyber attacks. Today, everything online is all about cyber, related concern. Because the next minute you realize the company has been hack-proofed, and the hackers are actually demanding ransom to the extent of even requesting for the payment in Bitcoin, which is not interesting at all. But that actually has created some sort of misconception around the Bitcoin ecosystem. Why? Because they think it is only hackers that are, kind of using this technology, but it's not like that. And then blockchain is trying to work against and make this better, and that is something like he talked about Block Verify. He talked about some of the cyber, and Remy is also trying to do that actually. And we think with the way blockchain is actually surviving when it comes to big data and all cloud technologies, everything, knowing that they have a 100% security on top of everything, any sort of service you are providing. And it's just one interesting thing that with cyber security and blockchain, the world is actually undergoing a massive disruption.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this brings us to peer-over. The blockchain technology allows transactions to be peer-to-peer, and we have a lot of stakeholders in this industry, and including some regulators as well. So we would want to look at the issue of integrity. So peer-over capitalize on this to bring something that can actually improve integrity between both stakeholders and then our regulators. So they are targeting big data companies, cloud technologies, and people who are into blockchain to ensure that integrity levels are not actually compromised. And we have players jumping on this bandwagon of what peer-over has brought on board, and it is making their work very easy, especially in the area of audit, reconciliation, and compliance. Every giant in the industry, blue chip companies, would want to make sure these things are not compromised, and peer-over is here to use blockchain to actually advance this very important aspect of it. Yeah.
So this also gives us a chance to talk about Essential. Essential one. Essential is a program or a chain that has been created. You see, there is this need for data management, and also we have something we call interoperability.
The company that handles most of our cargo is going blockchain. We have a few items, at least we also export out. The country leverage on this technology and also benefit from it.
And I think if Mesh is actually embracing the blockchain, it will mean at the end of the day, DHL, FedEx, and all of these. Even last year, we had a news from FedEx where they were trying to patron this, selling the blockchain and use it for their transport, whatever. And if Mesh is one step ahead. It means all the other binomial companies are also going to join.
To follow suit.
Sure.
And then surprisingly, the next time you go, you want to clear your cargo, you pay with what?
Bitcoin. Yes, seriously, yes.
That's it.
Yes, that's very serious, yes.
So Provenance is also in that same line. They are working to provide a supply chain that provides trust for both the retailers and then the users. You see, businesses are there to bring trust. Because let's just say I'm in America, I'm in Ghana, I want to send someone something to America. You see, the person that I'm sending the item to must know where the item is coming from, must be able to track.
We can go now.
Okay. So, as we are saying, provenance is there to give us trust. You see, I must know where the raw material that is going into the product I'm buying, I must know where it comes from. I must know what was used to create the item I'm buying. All these things comes in. And if blockchain technology is bringing this to the world, it is a plus.
Wow.
It is a plus and it must be supported.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think the same thing applies to what's the name? School chain. It's also a supply chain related. It brings customers, enterprise and industry together so that they can actually have full control and leverage on, this power that brings them together. When it comes to school chain, there's one part that says it creates a collaborative environment, for them to be able to have better value for their engagement. So I think just a joiner to what he said. It's also a supply chain.
Wow. You see, all of these we are discussing are ideas that somebody just, came out with. So you that is watching us, what are you thinking? We have lots of problems in Ghana that needs to be attended. We have lots of solutions we can provide on top of the blockchain for this country, Ghana, and not just Ghana, the entire Africa and anywhere else you can find yourself. So what are you also trying to come out with and all that? And quickly, I would want to consider about storage, blockchain application in storage. And we have actually this company has already been there. We have storage.io, and what storage is doing is that they think there should be a need for a distributed cloud storage where users can have access to their data in an encrypted format. Just like we have the Google Drive, we have the Microsoft Drive and all that, but this is running on top of the blockchain, and they also have their own token that you use to actually, access whatever you're doing. And that is very interesting. Look at a distributed cloud storage platform where it is focusing so much on giving control to the users. You own everything you are putting on top of the blockchain. You have your keys that you can use to access. If you compare it to Google Drive, there's a massive difference. Because with Google Drive, at some point, you have to trust Google in corporations that your files are safe. It is centralized, it is not decentralized. At some point, Google can decide to turn off their service for cloud storage, and what can you do about it? Of course, nothing. So with platforms like storage, I think it is really going to give a boost to businesses, and businesses are really going to be very comfortable knowing that they have access to their data and everything, and everything. Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the government aspect.
Okay.
You see, governments are available, governments are around, but what do you think can be done in the government sector with blockchain?
Well, are you centering maybe just
Let's look
country
at the
specific or
No,
Ghana
no.
or?
All governments.
Well, it's about everything we are discussing effectively can be incorporated in the government sector as well. And when it comes to data, the more reason why we have corrupted officials is because of the lack of access to information or the equal access to information. However, imagine a country like Ghana. There is a decision in the parliament ongoing for Ghanaians, and every Ghanaian can have access to the discussion, partake, submit, and do everything. What is our population right now? We are over
almost
28 million. And every 28 million, every citizen in that 28 million can partake in that decision making, be a part of that. No hidden agendas. Do you think our officials can come out and lie to us?
No.
Do you think they can discuss A and they come out to tell us B?
No.
That is total transparency, and that is some of the things governments are scared of because of the, it's information that empowers individuals and citizens. So if everybody is having access to the same information, you obviously know it is not going to be good unless there should be a need for change. Yes.
In actual fact, the number one stakeholder of blockchain should have been
the government. Yes.
I keep saying the number one technology that will be able to solve unemployment issues once in Ghana here is the blockchain technology, because it can hook, like almost everybody can just plug in and then that's it. Start looking at ways you can benefit from it. You mentioned government, so quickly a few things came to mind. The issue of elections, the issue of procurement. Wow. Blockchain is there to solve so many things there. Remember we made a submission last year, the blockchain conference?
Yes.
We don't know, some people are trying to implement the idea, but we don't know. We spoke about land administration. Yeah. And we got wind of information that the Lands Commission, together with, is it HP, a company out there, are trying to look at how land administration can be solved in Ghana using the power of blockchain. Ebitcoinics made this submission at the first blockchain conference somewhere in November at Golden Tulip.
Yes, and even I think this year we are repping.
Yeah, we are repping. So when it comes to elections, procurement, the blockchain technology can be applied to make things very transparent.
But talking about election, I think already Kenya applied that.
And Sierra Leone.
So and they are looking for, that is just for.
And when the issue of rigging,
no, it was 100% transparent.
So let's talk about Samsung SDS as well. SDS is there to give us the chance to know what the government is doing. It brings transparency. You see, governments sometimes hide vital information from the public. Even it gives the safety, the public safety. If in fact in Ghana you see things happen and you question the government. Why are these things happening? Then they will come out, they will tell you, oh, we have put measures in place. But at the end of the day, you don't know whether you are safe or not.
Yes, true.
And it is very important that governments gives us transparent information. They don't hide them, even with our welfare and our transportation system. You see, sometimes when we go into the fuel issues, governments will do whatever they want to drain the people of their own wealth through the fueling system. And if we know where we are getting the oil from, we know that. And we know the transparent ways and things that goes into this production. Then we will know how and when the people are able to spend.
That's very true. And we have a London startup, a startup based in London, and that is actually aiming to solve the use of traditional environment by allowing almost anyone, just as you're talking about, by allowing anyone to download an app and create actually a virtual jam jars. By doing so, anyone can rent, buy services, and this is all powered by a government. They are being powered by their government, and even they call the startup name GovCoin, G-O-V Coin. Imagine, this will help the users manage their savings. It will help the citizens or whatever avoid payment delays, and also give instant access to this welfare issues you are talking about. And this is an advanced country where their governments are basically paying attention to technologies like this. But welcome to Africa. We still have leaders that are still sleeping. Yes, we still have leaders that still don't even want to talk.
We have a leader that when he's going to the podium, they have to hold his hand.
Wow. Just look at
in Africa, yes.
They all deserve to be, reserved.
Anyway, it is well. God is good.
Well,
I mentioned earlier regarding elections, and I think number 23, right?
23.
Yeah, we have one, followmyvotes.com. Yes, I think this has to do with, it offers full transparency for election and then voting. So if you want to get involved in a blockchain-related, transparent project, Follow My Vote is just one of the best you can actually vouch for. It provides 100% accurate data. As you vote real time, you see the results.
Wow.
There's no need for someone to overvote, undervote. Everything is verified in real time, and the election results can be seen. So the likes of Follow My Vote can be used to actually test election cases, and if possible, take it full time. Yeah.
Yes, guys, I think this has been a very interesting session. We may not be able to finish this all today, or maybe the next week.
So much to offer.
Yes, there's still a whole lot, and I think we would have to do a part 2 of this use case session. It's very, very important, and we are very glad. We don't know how you are patronizing with this, but if you like it, you just have to just share this video with those that you are watching with, and let this information go far. We will basically release a part 2 of this session, and we have lots of industries we need to talk about. We need to talk about, like the retail, the wholesale industry. We have the real blockchain platform that are just there.
No mobile money system has created that program, but with the blockchain, Essential is giving you the chance to store your data everywhere and anywhere, and you can access it anywhere and everywhere.
Yes, please. And quickly, from cyber security and all of these things we are talking about, I want to actually talk about the health industry, because it is not only about cyber and web browsers that blockchain is actually disrupting, and the health sector has also been affected. We have something we call the Simply Vital Health, and that has to do with all the need for a proper healthcare solution that provide the customers a platform for them to actually get in touch with all health specialists. And imagine health on top of the blockchain, and it's connecting patients and their providers under one roof or one umbrella, and it is actually a complete health data management solution system, and it uses machine learning and algorithm to actually forecast for the best solution possible. Imagine you are sick, you go to the hospital, and there is something that is already determined, predicting what is wrong with you and giving you the right requisite so that you can not use the wrong drug or the wrong information against the sort of right ailment you are suffering. And I think we really need to talk about that almost all the time for doctors to know that blockchain is not just about Bitcoin or it's all about saving money, but every industry is being practically disrupted.
Wow, that's wonderful. When it comes to blockchain, mostly the health sector is overlooked, but I think there is a lot to actually benefit as far as health is concerned.
Seriously.
Let me quickly join this particular one, MedRec. That's number 11 on the list, I think.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because it is also health related.
Wow.
What's the motive is just to get patient data kept at one place, and at the same time, we should be able to access it all the time. You understand? So with the decentralized nature of what's the name, the blockchain, one, they are able to get the patient records at one place, and also it can be accessed at the same time. So there's no centralized server for you to target to see records have been compromised or they are no longer available. Wherever the patient is, wherever the medical records officers are, they are able to track the well-being of their patients, make prescriptions, and book appointments for like when next their patient should come for them to be attended to. And I think it's very good for us.
Seriously, more than good, more than just good. Yes.
MedRec is going to be one of the game changers in this.
Seriously,
because
seriously.
I remember I went to a hospital one day and they were looking for my file and it's nowhere to go. Even a pregnant woman came to the hospital and they were not able to find her file.
Wow.
And this is one of the things that affects our health system. So if we should have MedRec,
Yes.
MedRec is going to solve enough problems.
Wow. Let me quickly ask this. So assuming they don't find the record, and there's another person who bears a name, similar to yours, and perhaps the person has conditions that are way not
So they treat the person with the pregnancy condition.
Yes, and in my case, it did happen.
Wow.
You see, the code that they gave to me was around 171 then. And then there was a name that looked like my name. And then they brought the folder out. They said it's not me. They took it back. And they have to treat me without a folder.
It's just like they are working at the same time, guessing their work. They actually don't know what they are doing.
And these things would never happen, on the blockchain because our addressing system for blockchain is quite unique
and very transparent.
Very transparent as well. So even if the names, match, the identification, which is the private key that will be used to actually hash your name, will make you unique, and anybody can be able to attend to you with that unique identification.
Oh, that's very interesting, and I think quickly we will talk about the financial sector. So you see, blockchain is making the financial sector so weak. They think that probably it has come to take something away from them. Meanwhile, it is an improvement for the financial sector. And quickly, we want to talk about Barclays. Barclays Bank happens to understand blockchain and its impact on the financial sector. And guess what Barclays Bank is doing? It's trying to actually use the blockchain technology to build systems that support blockchain. So it means banking on top of the blockchain, and it will open new doors to new banks, new institutions that want to be a blockchain-enabled financial institution. And I think that is very, very healthy. In fact, considering an institution like Barclays trying to do all that they can to assimilate and propagate blockchain in everything they are doing, and also working to actually bring a very massive trade revolution where everything is tracked to ensure transparency is very, very interesting.
That's very true. Accra is also working on something similar, but they are.
Does it have to do with the financial?
Yes, it's with the financial sector.
Wow.
They are creating apps that can let anyone invest in cryptocurrencies and also make them secured and store them anywhere without any worries.
Wow.
So you can secure your assets on this app. You are banking with the same app. Wow. You are using it to do anything you want.
Trade, do cryptocurrencies, and at the same time do banking. It's like all in one combined. And that's very interesting. Seriously.
Wow. Okay, let him finish.
And it is true. You see, with the banking system, banks are supposed to help us use our money like easily.
Yes.
But you go to the bank, you stay in the bank for a long period without even accessing your money. But if we can have a blockchain, like the blockchain Abra is creating, the app Abra is creating, if we have this and you are able to walk in to any shop, you just key in your details and you are able
it's
to.
It's just like banking made so much easier. And Africa with banking, we have a very serious issue because lots of the population are unbanked. And almost all of them, I constantly say, are now using smartphones. So with technologies like this, really, the banking sector should be ready.
The fact that was the name, the fact that Barclays has been mentioned, makes me want to mention this accounting and audit body called ACC. Their motto is think ahead. And as part of their models, they've factored in Bitcoin and blockchain in their 2017-2018 model, meaning that all past chartered accountants and those who are yet to actually charter should start looking at blockchain and digital currencies.
Wow.
So Barclays is UK based, and then ACC is also UK centered. And their motto is think ahead. These guys are thinking ahead. And when it comes to audits globally and accounting, they are leading. So if they are looking at this emerging technology, and Barclays has also taken a giant step, I don't think anybody should be sleeping. If you're a bank, Barclays is a leading bank in the world, and you wouldn't want to miss out. Anyway, let me quickly join Eternity, a project that is actually leveraging on smart contract technology, which enables us to be able to actually transfer assets and monetize on them using the blockchain technology. And this was what Eternity is trying to do. But they are focusing on the fact that we should be able to scale these projects, make it more, faster. Just like the way the Lightning Network was introduced on Bitcoin blockchain. Yeah. So they are leveraging on it to be able to make sure smart contracts are executed much more faster than they are being done.
Wow, and quickly I would want us to actually talk about some of the blockchain applications in the manufacturing and the industrial sector, because it's not just about all the other things. We want to make sure we tap into almost any other sector so that people get to know. Those of you that are watching, you get to know that blockchain is massively huge and it's for everything and everything we are involved in. And we already know about this shipping company, Maersk. And I think they do cargo movement that can be tracked effectively and efficiently almost anywhere in the world. They have their service, and what they are doing is actually, since they are already an established company, a transport company that handles this sort of cargo across the globe, they are now trying to slowly transit blockchain solutions so that they can take advantage of the level of blockchain's transparency, integrity, and security provided with it. So that at the end of the day, by doing so, companies that transport ports will have better control over whatever goods they are transporting, and at the same time too, this will also mean illegal transport and things that are government preventable, like things that government should take up and prevent to lead to unnecessary things that don't or that are not welcomed in our societies can be taken care of. And you know, when a cargo company tries to use blockchain in these processes, you know, corruption in that sector has been taken care of, because everything is going to be full of integrity and transparency. If somebody ships or does anything that has to do with transport, you cannot tell the person your item is in Nigeria when maybe ideally the item is in Ghana, or your item is lost and we can't find the item, the location, and everything. I think that is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Seriously, more companies should be waking up.
And you mentioned that is Maersk,
right? Yes.
And when you go around the Tema Harbour area, I think most of the containers that come in, you see them.
Maersk, and not just in Ghana.
Ghana imports a lot.
Blockchain, we have the other, those of us that like food a lot, we have those that as well. And
it appears he has, you know, some last things to say.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so there are a number of them that we can list here. You see, when you go, we have the real estate, the media.
Wow.
You see, Kodak One, civil and usual music are for the media.
Wow.
You see, we have real estate as well, which is ubiquity and profit.
Wow.
We have land registry.
Wow.
My brother just mentioned land registry, and we have it in here. And there are enough. There are more than 1,000 that you can
yes,
talk
including
about.
I think the transport and tourism sector.
Yes.
That has also been disrupted. We have the yes, and then the real estate. We have platforms like the Propi and the Ubiquity. We have the identification, like about digital identification and things like that. We also have the insurance sector. We have the enterprises sector.
You mentioned identification.
Yes.
This is a major problem in Ghana.
Wow.
Because people can have the national ID, the passport, the SNIT records, all not in sign. Why can't we have just a single document that will represent all these once and for all?
Seriously.
Blockchain is there to solve problems. And if you are here watching us, it is for you. If you are still not getting it, just follow on Ebitcoinics, and then we will help you, identify where you can plug in. And then also benefit from this thing.
And those of you that are watching, you can of course follow us on Twitter at Ebitcoinics, on Facebook at Ebitcoinics, and also on Instagram. And talking about social media, it has also been disrupted with platforms like Accra, and then we have the yours.com. And these are much more like decentralized application, social related application that is evolving. And we have the diamond sector, which has to do with a platform called the Bear. And all of this, as I said, we will talk about this probably next time. There will be a part 2 release of this version. And as I said, I had with me here, and then myself, Bitcoin, your host for today, and also a part of the session. See you next week, same time, Friday, 4 p.m. God willing. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Yes.